You can see I'm in the employees table. Down at the bottom I have a total of 48 records. I don't want to view all of them. I just want to view those employees who are based in the state of, let's say, Utah. So the criteria is going to be UT for Utah, and to filter in only those employees who have that criteria, I can do it one of a few ways. I can either come up here and click on the column header for that, this field that I want to be able to filter. Click on the drop down arrow and you can see a list of values that are currently being displayed. They're checked. I can uncheck those values and leave the last one checked for Utah. Click OK, and it'll just filter and pull in only those employees with the value of UT. Or you can imagine if you had hundreds of values here, you don't want to uncheck all of them and then recheck one or two. Instead, let me go ahead and check select all. Uncheck that. It unchecks all of the values. Then you can go ahead and check the one or two values that you would like and then click OK. It does a couple of things. First of all, it filters for just that value there, UT for Utah. Second of all, if I didn't know any better and I opened up the table, you can imagine looking down below here that I would just think that there's 24 records. But if I have an eye for this, when you look up in the column headers here, if you see a little funnel, that means that the records are being filtered, and the filtered has been applied to this field. So look for the funnel. In fact, you can come up here on the Home tab to the Sort and Filter group. You can see the funnel there, and there's the name of it, Filter. You can see also a bunch of other funnels here, which we'll cover. In fact, you have the toggle filter. Once you've applied the filter, you can toggle off of it and go back to your 48 records. Toggle it again and go back to reapplying the value or the criteria for filtering for UT, the state of Utah. When you close out, be sure to save your work. That way, if you want to be able to go back to your employees table and click and use the toggle filter, because you saved it, it'll go ahead and apply it. Now, the toggle filter is not only on the top, on the Home tab in the Sort and Filter group, but it's also down below on the record navigation bar. That way, if you're not on the Home tab, you don't have to go up and make a few clicks. Just come down here and click on it. Go to Unfiltered. Click on it to go to Filtered, and there we go. To go ahead and clear this filter, you can do it one of a few ways. You can either come up here, click on the drop-down arrow, and clear it, or check to select all the values so all of them will be seen. Or let me click Cancel. You can click in one of the cells down below in the State field and right-click, and there it is. You can also clear it from there. And then we're back to where we started, 48 records. You can also filter two or more fields at the same time. And let's go ahead and filter it a different way. For example, if I go ahead and click in the any one of the cells for the State field, you can come up here and there's the filter button. Click on it. Brings up the same list. So for me, really, since I'm let me click Cancel. Right here, I might as well just click on the drop-down arrow instead of making all that way up there. You can also do what's called filter by selection. For example, instead of clicking on the drop-down arrow and unchecking all except for Utah, let me click Cancel. If it's just one value that you want to filter by, go ahead and click in the cell that contains that value and either right-click and go down to equals Utah, or let me click in that cell again. You can come up here, go to the Home tab, Sort and Filter, and click on Selection, drop-down arrow, equals Utah. That's known as filter by selection. I prefer right-clicking and staying down here and not coming all the way up here to the ribbon. Sometimes you may have to, but if I can show you shortcuts down here, I will. So let's say go ahead and equals Utah. There we go. Filtered by selection. Now I can go ahead and filter another field as well. Let's say that I want to be able to filter the last name because I was talking to one of the employees and I remember his last name began with a D, and I think I remember his first name. So let me just go ahead and filter last name, those that begin with the letter D. To do that, I can go ahead and right-click on any one of these that begins with the letter D, like Donaldson, Doe, and then come down here. You get some other additional options like, again, filter by selection, or does not equal Donaldson, or contains Donaldson, or doesn't contain. You also have a little arrow that gives you more options here for text filters. Could begin with, and then type in the letter D, click OK, and hey, there we go. So then I can look through here and go, let's see, I remember, oh, that's right, it was Duck, and his first name was Donald. Okay, that was easy to remember, but I didn't remember it, so I was able to go ahead and apply this filter here that began with the letter D. Now to go ahead and unapply these filters, you can click on the drop-down arrow, or probably easier is to right-click in each one and clear it, and then come over here and right-click in that one and clear it. But you can imagine if you had dozens or hundreds of fields and you applied many filters here, like a dozen, that's annoying. That could take too long to right-click in every field. So instead, I'll come up here on the Home tab to the Sort and Filter group, click on the Advanced drop-down arrow and say I want to clear all of them. Click on it. We're back to where we were, 48 records. One last thing I want to show you is that if you do want to go ahead and apply a filter to the table, but you don't want that filter applied every time you open it up, and you don't want to toggle it, you can actually apply your filters here and save it as a query. It's one of the many benefits of a query. So let me go ahead and apply some filters here. Let's right-click on Arizona and say it equals Arizona, and then also apply another filter. Let's just right-click here and go to Text Filters, give us some more options, and say it does not begin with anybody who begins with the letter H. Click OK. So what I can do is I can come up here, click on the File tab, go down to Save Object As, and change it from a table and say we want to save our results as a query. Now I want to come up here and delete Copy Of, and delete the 3-letter prefix TBL because it's no longer a table. It's QRY, Query Employees. You could get a little bit more specific, Filtered, and then click OK. And then come back up here, click on the File tab, pops us back to our, from the backstage to the front view here of our database, all our tables, and also we've got our new query. So that way I can go ahead and close out of here. That was the query that we were looking at. Close out of here, not save it, so I can open up my employees. Got 48 records. I don't have to deal with the toggle. I don't have to deal with filters. But if later on I need those filters without having to reapply them all, I saved it as a query. Go ahead and double click and there it is. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.